Hi, I'm Harri. Welcome to my channel. A couple of weeks ago, the team at Dehancer reached out to me and asked if I would like to make a video review on the Dehancer plugin. And here we are. A full disclaimer, Dehancer didn't pay me, but they gave me a 1-month subscription of Dehancer Pro plugin, and they will give me a limited time subscription after making this review. Dehancer insisted that I will give my honest review. They do not have any requirements and they will not get to see my video before you. If you decide to purchase Dehancer, you can use my promo code HR10 at the checkout, and you will get 10% discount, and I will get a small commission. So, what is Dehancer? Dehancer is a film-like color grading plugin, a toolset which gives digital videos and photos a cinematic look. The Dehancer product line includes modules for all major video editing software: DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, and Adobe After Effects and Premiere Pro. Dehancer Film plugin for photo editing works in Photoshop, Lightroom, Capture One, and Affinity Photo. They have even a mobile app, Dehancer for iOS, bringing film emulation to your iPhone or iPad. I have made all kinds of films, 1-minute micro short films, mini documentaries, wedding films, spec ads, and all kinds of funny little stories. Lately I have watched some classic movies from the 50s, 60s and 70s, and even films like Tokyo Story made by Yasujirō, the legendary Japanese filmmaker. Recently I have watched again and again all the great films directed by Aki Kaurismäki, a Finnish director who refuses to use digital cameras. As much as I love the look of real film, I don't have the luxury of shooting on film. Okay, maybe one day I will try shooting on 16mm film though. But today I'm shooting on Sony a7S III and I try to make my digital videos look a little bit like classic films. Chasing the silver bullet, I have bought and used several film emulation LUTs, PowerGrades, plugins, and the film look creator of the DaVinci Resolve. So what are my goals here? First of all, I'm a hobbyist who makes solo short films for YouTube with a classic film look. What does that mean in practice? I am not trying to create a vintage effect. Instead, I want my short films look as if they were shot on high-quality 35mm motion picture film. Since I am not a professional colorist, this is just my beloved hobby, and I only make about 1 film a month in my spare time, color grading needs to be quick and simple, and it doesn't make sense to spend a fortune for just a slightly better image. Now it's time to see how I have used Dehancer in my tests. Okay, here we are in DaVinci Resolve. I select Rec. 709A as timeline color space to use the simplest node structure in this review. I shoot on Sony a7S III and I use S-Log3 to get the highest dynamic range. I like to take a look at the normalized Rec. 709 image first. Then I select a new version and I drag and drop the Dehancer plugin from the effects to the first node. At first glance, the image looks terrible, to be honest, and the long list of sliders seems overwhelming. That is why I like to first disable all tools, and then I enable the clipping indication, which will show if the shadows are crushed or the highlights are clipped. Next, I select the right input source from the list of cameras and image formats. Here's Dehancer's version of Rec. 709 image. You should activate both a film profile and a print stock so that you can see the resulting image from the very beginning.
Otherwise you would grade the film negative only, and when you then enable the print stock, the end result might look terrible. And you would have to go back and forth to make the image look good. Okay, now we have both film negative and print stock activated. At this point I fast forward and I just want to highlight a few settings in my grading. Mononose Balance DCTL is great for checking white balance. I find development, compression and expand tools really good to make the image filmic. Then I adjust the print and color head settings to my liking. I finalize the image with reduced grain settings, shout out to Cinematography Live, subtle halation and bloom, very fine dust and a little bit of gate weave. And here is the final graded image. Next, I would like to show you how to speed up your workflow. I have created PowerGrades and saved them to a Power bin called Dehancer. I have preset Dehancer plugin parameters for the 4 Kodak Vision 3 films with the Kodak 2383 print stock. Now it is easy to just drag and drop a PowerGrade to the node. Let's select 200T this time. I included also the mononode balance to the PowerGrade for checking the skin tones. The Dehancer plugin has the right input source settings ready. In this PowerGrade, the 200 tungsten and the 2383 print stock are enabled. Color head is enabled. Film grain is enabled and the settings have been adjusted. Halation is set to 30% and bloom is set to 10%. Film damage settings are ready as well. Film breadth is disabled, gate weave is set to 50%, overscan is disabled, vignette is enabled and the clipping indication is on. So we have all set and we can just start grading. Setting first exposure and tint settings. Then I try different push-pull settings. And I decide to use +2. Film developer is on and I only add some saturation. Not that much, something like that. Film compression is also on and I reduce the impact to around 35. Next I adjust the black point to get some more contrast to the image. And then I make the image a bit warmer with the target white slider in the print settings. And I add tonal contrast. Let's reduce the saturation a bit there. Okay, let's check the skin tones one last time. And here is the final image. That was fast, wasn't it?
It is time for me to give my verdict. You remember the 3 goals I set. First, did I achieve the 35mm motion picture look? Well, it's a bit more complicated than I thought. I did get nice images in my grading tests, and the 1-minute film Deserved turned out great, I think. What do you think? But then I started thinking what the classic motion picture look really is, and I realized that it is so much more about the script, directing, cinematography, lighting, production design and acting. Film look color grading is just a cherry on top, especially when my audience doesn't really care about the fine technical film emulation nuances like halation, and the film grain gets destroyed by YouTube compression anyway. In addition, I cannot compare my grading with a real 35mm motion picture film in my environment. However, I did like the images I got with Dehancer, so in my opinion it is a very good tool in my filmmaking toolbox. Secondly, how was the turnaround? After a couple of weeks testing the effect of all the various functions and sliders, I have found a workflow that fits my way of working. And now I can grade my small 1-minute film projects fast. So yes, Dehancer gives me the quick turnaround I need. Finally, we have to talk about money. In my opinion, for a hobbyist filmmaker, any single-node plugin should cost less than the DaVinci Resolve Studio, which is today $295. Dehancer Pro is $549, almost double the price of the studio license. Clearly, Dehancer is expensive. Dehancer Lite is $249, which would be reasonable for most of us hobbyist filmmakers, but it lacks the very good film developer and compression tools, print films, and advanced color pipelines. For a professional colorist or a filmmaking business owner, Dehancer is a reasonable investment, I think. Personally, I will continue playing with the Dehancer plugin, and we'll see. Maybe I will purchase a lifetime license one day. If you decide to purchase Dehancer, please use my promo code HR10 at the checkout to get 10% discount. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment if you would like to see more videos on how to use hard light in filmmaking. Bye!